What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Brian Jesus. If you know anything about me, like if you know me personally, and maybe you even watch my YouTube, social media, you know I'm a big fan of Porsches. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of a lot of things like Nintendo games, combat sports. I'm a heavy advocate of Islam, things like that. You know, and you know, of course, my favorite car is Porsche. I'm a Porsche fan. Like you could be a Ford Mustang fan. You could be a Chevrolet fan. You can be, you know, a big fan of the Toyota Supra. You know, Ford, Lamborghini, anything. My car of choice, like 10 times out of 10, will be like Porsche. Because that's just what I was. Like, I was romantic about the car growing up. My dad was romantic about the car growing up. So, you know, having common ground with my dad on that, like, was really cool. You know, like, I just always liked the look. It was just something I became a fan of. You might be a fan of certain things outside of cars. Baseball, basketball, sneakers. Something that you're really, you know, just a fan of, and that's like your hobby. And, you know, for me, Porsche, the car, was like one of those things. One of those things. And, you know, I did, like, you know, have Porsche for quite a long time now. And even, like, when I had, like, my very first one, like, I wasn't driving my first one, like, every day. But I wanted to get to a point that I've gotten to now, alhamdulillah, even though it's not nowhere near as pretty as I thought. I could drive, like, a Porsche every day, you know? Porsche Macan. But I drive pretty much every day. And I had, like, maybe 15 Porsches or so. A lot of them at the same time. Before my business collapsed and I got ruined and XYZ had to sell some got repo, whatever. And you know, one thing that I hated in the fashion that it came, or the time that it came at least, was like I got associated with the car that I drive. And I just did not like even when I had like a lot of money, it was like I still probably wouldn't like that, because like that's not what I wanted to necessarily give off of, like, you know, I didn't want to be associated with the Porsche brand like to that extent, in that kind of way, like, or in a bougie kind of way. It's like I wanted to be associated with Porsche, like, I mean, if anything, like in the same way I gotta maybe associate with Pokemon cards or Pokemon, and I'm 33, you know, like more as like my hobby. Not like so much as like a status symbol, in a sense. Like, I ran somebody like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and I don't know who he was, but a lot of people recognize me in public. It's kind of strange. You know, I'm in that midway famous point, I think. Semi-famous, something like that. Local celebrity. I'm not sure what to call it. And, you know, it's like, oh, you're the guy driving the Porsche. And I'm like, man, this beat up old thing that got like, you know, 165,000 miles, you know what I mean? And I got a car to drive. And I'm appreciative of it, but it's not like, it's not the way I expected. Like, I'm sure you guys can kind of feel that way. The son of Adam had 1 mountain of gold, who wished for 2 mountains of gold. And even when I had like the ones that I like really liked, it was like I was waiting to get like the ultimate like Porsche, like that I wanted to get, which was the Carrera GT. You know, the one that Paul Walker died in. And it was kind of like in a similar sense, like, okay, as an amateur fighter, like, I wanted to be a champion. Wasn't like a regular, like, you know, regional champ. Wasn't necessarily what I wanted, even as a national champ. I wanted to be a world champ, had a specific goal, you know? I mean, not everybody can just become a champion at that, but you might have a specific goal. And I'm bringing all this up because I'm saying, like, I got us associated with a vehicle in a manner that I just really did not expect, or if I did, I would want it to be like more positive. Like in the past, it had paid off in different kind of ways. Like, for example, when I was renting cars on Turo and whatnot, like, that's it. It's good to be known for that, like, because you can help sell it. Like, known for kickboxing, you can sell. But I want to be known for Porsches just because, like, no, just for the sake of driving them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no like self-fulfillment with that in a sense. That's not really what the goal. Like the it's like having like a favorite toy, but like, and you drive it for you. Like the best time you're gonna have driving a Porsche is kind of driving alone most of the time on the back roads, testing the speed. You first, take it off the lot, like those kind of things. You know what I mean? Like driving a fancy car just to, like, let's say impress women or whatever. That's not like, it's not gonna hit. I mean, I'm not gonna say it hasn't like helped. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Proportionately, as I grew older, and in retrospect, like one of the funniest things I hear, like girls say, "Oh, that's a Brahma car." You know what I mean? Like you like what you like, or maybe you like for example, I wear like Adidas pretty much every day. I like Adidas. This is Puma right there, but like maybe I just really like. You might really just like a brand. It might really just like a brand of cereal. You might just really like any particular thing. But I never really thought of associating somebody like with their car. Like, one of the reasons I bring this up too, because like I was studying Ty Lopez. I studied Ty Lopez for a while, and he was going over his Here in My Garage video with the Lamborghini, and I did buy some Ty Lopez courses, and it helped me like acquire a major. I did learn some things from Ty Lopez. I never associated like Ty Lopez with the Lamborghini though. I guess he got a lot of haters and whatnot from owning a Lamborghini. But that was like, if that's what you got from, like, I'm the kind of person, if I want something, right, say I want a championship, I'm like, how do you get that championship? How do you train? That's why like I was a fan of Mayweather. How was Mayweather training? He's the best, so copy him. But like I remember my coach at the time, a lot of people they're hating on Mayweather, his success and how cocky he was. They didn't look past none of that theatric stuff. They were like, oh, none of that stuff works. We hate Mayweather. He's a boring fighter, which isn't true, and everything else like that. And I was like, well, how do you become a dominant fighter? That's why I was looking at Mayweather, not just because of the things he had. I don't care about the cars that Mayweather has. How do you become the best fighter? Like, that's something more tangible. I mean, in the sense of like, I'll be more proud of being as the best fighter, not even just like the highest paid fighter or this, that, and the third. It's like, I like fighting. How do you become dominant in that area to that degree? Which is why I studied Mayweather, in a sense. And, I do like sports cars. I wouldn't necessarily get a Lamborghini, but it was like, okay, if somebody has like a sports car and they'll tell you, they say, go to school and do this, okay, maybe you can get it that way. But it's like, I like being an entrepreneur too. Like, it was kind of more in my DNA to be an entrepreneur. So it's like, all right, what do you do as an entrepreneur? How can I use your skill set to what I like to do, to drive sports cars? Because that's more in line with my personality overall. So, yeah. I don't want to add a respect just because like I drive a specific car. Like I will, like, and it's similar to like the how to do with being broke after success videos. It's like I want to be more respected due to the integrity and character I have, like, as a man in general. You know what I mean? Like, there's like most people, like, I can beat up. Like, it's like the 99.9% of the population I could beat up in a hand-to-hand combat. All right, and like if somebody like gets vile with me or aggressive with me or talk, you know what I mean, or some kind of way, like I'll just immediately start swinging on people. I show restraint. Like, I have tact, honor, respect. You feel me? Like, I don't need to like throw my weight around with the threat of violence in ways that's not needed. And I've never been that kind of way. I think that's like easy to understand. Like, just having good character. And that's how I want people to kind of be with me. Not just, I like to judge people what they have. With like just the consistency and honesty and integrity as a person. That's what I care most about. And I made a lot of mistakes, in my life. I disappoint my parents every day, unfortunately. I try my best to, be a well-behaved kid or whatever the case, throughout my life, and respectful, but my 34 years of living almost, and pretty much never accomplished making my family proud, so, yeah, before you say, oh, like, I heard people say, like, oh, Brahma makes his family proud, then, like, oh, Brahma drives a Porsche, you know what I mean? Like, that means something. But anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope you have a blessed day. May Allah bless y'all. I'm out of here.